Yeah, she didn't answer the last message, huh?
Yeah. All right. So it's great to see you.
It's
I feel
nice to
like
see
I
you
haven't
too.
seen you in forever.
I know. It's been a little while.
How are things going?
They're going good.
Yeah.
There's just a lot, going on right now, but I guess also, with everything opened, but not all the way opened or modified, it's just an adjustment, but it's going good.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. Like you, adjusting
Yeah,
to, I guess, what life is now going to be, right?
right.
Um, you know what? Let me pause for 1 second. Okay, so let's talk about dating during the pandemic.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Yes. Have
Dating
you
in
been
pandemic.
dating during this pandemic?
Huh?
Have you been dating?
I have not. Well, I guess I can't really say I have not, right? Um, I've just continued to talk to the same person,
Mhm.
and I don't know, the pandemic has made me kind of feel like I kind of need to have someone, like
Huh?
um which is not something, I mean, before pandemic, what is it, before corona? um I I think I handled that pretty well, but now, I'm like, okay, I'm home. Um, okay, I watched TV. Okay, I worked. Okay, now what? And I see other people like they're just doing all sorts of stuff, with a significant other. So I don't know. It's put me to think about it, but I don't know that I would say I've been dating this person, right? But definitely been getting to know them. Um, I have not met up with him yet just because of everything that's going on. But I think I'm kind of putting it off. And so this is where I'm like, okay, do I really need to date? Or do I just think I do, Because why am I putting it off? We're in the pandemic, and if I feel alone, then I don't know, shouldn't I pursue it? I don't know. So there's always something that comes up, and then I just don't. But I hear other people that have really turned into online dating. Like online dating is a thing, let's get on Tinder, let's get on Bumble. I even found out that there is a Bumble where you can make friends. Like
Really?
it's not even for dating, it's just to make friends. So I was like, so we just went like a whole nother level of using, apps. Now
Mhm.
we can get a boyfriend through an app, and we can also make some friends, which is really interesting. But I can see a lot of people going through online dating. I downloaded an app, but I wasn't daring enough to sign up and do any of that. So I feel like I'm still just thinking I need to date, but not really, not really dating.
So dating, honestly, being somebody that has been single for like 5 years or more, um, dating sucks. Like,
Yes, I would agree.
I don't know if just getting older has made me realize that just it's tedious. Like, you
It
have to
is.
put on your nice face to have to deal with this person so that they like you, and you can't, at least in my experience, it's like when a little bit of authentic you comes out, it freaks them out, and then they ghost you. And that's another whole soapbox that I could just like rant about. That is the most insulting, disrespectful, cowardy, just have the balls to say you're not interested instead of just falling off the face of the earth. And the thing is, now you don't know if they fell off the face of the earth or they died of coronavirus.
One of the two.
That's my only two options.
You know?
That's a justification for why people don't continue the conversation. It's like you fell off the face of the earth or you died. That's it.
Right. Right. You know, I agree. I think that dating does suck. Nowadays, I hear other people and their dating experiences and how they're just not so great. There's always something happening that doesn't click, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I feel like I just haven't been all that interested. Yes, there's qualities to every person, right? There's great qualities to every person, just like there's bad qualities to every person, right? But in the dating department, I feel like guys see me a certain way, so they're expecting a very specific personality, a very specific attitude, and so they go geared towards that, and I feel like I'm the total opposite. So when they try to connect with me and I just don't follow along, they're like super upset. Well, first of all, if you are direct, I'm being direct back with you that
Right.
we're not clicking.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't take a hint, then I don't know how much more direct I need to be. Um, but then if you continue to insist, you know, I don't know if you think that the more you insist, the more of a chance you have that I'm just going to give in.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just going to ignore you, and then I'm just going to go on my merry way. Um, but I also feel like there's not a lot of honesty in that. I feel like, one of the things that I was coming across and just talking to different people about dating is that I feel like we're in a time where we're looking at a person and we have the ideal candidate in mind, and we see somebody who we're automatically attracted to and we're like, that person, that's the person that all of these things that we have, that's who's going to fulfill them, right? And the person's probably the total opposite. Instead of saying, well, wait a minute, let's see if you do even fulfill, what I'm looking for, what
Right.
I am in need of, right? It's like oh, nope, that one right there, that's it. Okay, you don't work out. Okay, maybe you then. And it's like, I don't want to go through that. I just want to go through, oh, you fit in, great. Not maybe you'll fit in, maybe you will. Okay, maybe you will. Okay, maybe none of you will. And we have to figure this out all over again. I kind of want the person to come on board and be like, oh, this is what I was looking for. I don't have to make somebody fit, somebody fits. And I feel like a lot of the people that I have talked to about dating, especially now, it's not very genuine. So you think you're getting to know somebody or meeting someone or having a good time with somebody, and then it goes totally different when you start to get to know them. You're like, wait a minute, what was this? And you're doing a lot of dating through dating apps now. I mean, that's the thing.
Yes, for sure. I did notice, I have been trying dating apps for a number of years, but I did notice that around like April-ish, and then as April-ish turned into like December-ish, that I was downloading more apps. In fact, at one point on my phone, I had like 6 dating apps downloaded. Um, and it was just consuming so much of my time.
Mm.
And the bottom line, and it continues to be, although I have deleted 3, so I just have 3 now, still too
Cut
many.
down.
I will admit it's still too many, is that it's just a disappointment. Like, I am genuinely disappointed, and it's almost like I'm a dating masochist. I keep going back hoping, okay, today's gonna be the day. I'm gonna find someone. Nope, nope. I find it hilarious. It's almost like people fall into like one or two groups, right? One is they're straight up front and they're like, you know what, as soon as Rona is over, this is over. This is just until the virus is alive and well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it might be. Mostly it's a friends with benefits or just a sex situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have those that are like, yeah, I realize that I want a relationship. What is not being said is, I want a relationship on my terms if I can squeeze you in a 15-minute break, if you check off all the boxes in my life, if, and there's a lot of ifs. And so to me, it's like, okay, first of all, why are you on a dating app if you clearly have no time to date, right? Regardless of the fact that you're working from home, you can still get creative and meet someone and have a conversation. It's not impossible. But I feel like, and dating apps, pros and cons again, but with dating apps, it's almost, I do see a lot of people saying that they're shopping. That's really all it is. You just shop, and like you said, maybe this person will and maybe that person will, and ultimately none of them do, because here we are.
Right. But I wonder is, and I mean this after, right, the pandemic started, so more the April, May stuff. Did people start to go on dating apps because it gave them something to do?
Yes.
It wasn't necessarily because they truly, I mean, again, we think we want a relationship, but we really don't. So,
I find it amusing. One of the things that Bumble has done, and I think Bumble's amazing, is ask you how you want to date. So whether it's going to be distance, whether you're willing to meet up, whether you just want to do virtual dating. And most of the people that I have connected with on Bumble all want to meet up.
huh.
Yeah, which is interesting because then I go back on the profile and it's like virtually date or, distance dating or with a mask. And I'm like, that didn't happen. Honestly.
Okay. That's interesting.
And then there's that push to, well, and a lot of, again, men are very honest. Like, if you're not willing to meet them, don't even bother.
Right.
Okay, well, are you willing to die for? I don't know. I don't know you that
well. Right. I mean, I guess that now with this pandemic, that does become a very real question. Do you want to meet with somebody and you don't know what this person has been exposed to, and or what you yourself have been exposed to, and then now you're to our meeting, and either one of you can have the virus or possibly have the virus. So now do you think about that and make a choice off of that, of whether or not you want to meet up with somebody for the purpose of dating? And then just imagine if this ends up being how the rest of our lives, is, then do we ever really get to meet somebody? Like, how does this work? How do we, how do we make this work? Like, it's just, I guess I'm thinking of the future, right? In future in dating, we may come across the same question. This may be a question that we have for the rest of our lives, right? To say, well, do we want to meet? And then if so, do we want to meet in at a restaurant so that we're able to keep the distance? And how awkward is that going to be? Let me have my mask on and, and we're going to
sexy,
meet.
by the way, super sexy.
Right? And just, keep 6 feet apart. And I don't know, how does that work, right? Because I feel like the pandemic has taken away a little bit um, of the connection, like the human connection, or a lot of it, of the human connection, in how much as people we really need that human connection. So if we're meeting up where sometimes in the past it might have been up close and personal, how is it now with masks on and you make keep your distance? I don't know if you have corona or not. You know.
The question has actually been kind of like akin to asking, do you wear a condom when you have sex or not? Right?
Right. Right. Yes.
Those are the three questions now. Will you wear a mask? Will you wear a condom? And do you have an STD? That's all I need to know.
So true. Have you tested positive for corona before? Yeah. Do you have any of the symptoms? You're right. It becomes kind of like, part of the questionnaire.
Yes.
Huh.
The other thing that I have noticed, and I will totally admit, I have met people without a mask, um, is men are more like you start talking to them, and I don't usually give out my number right away, but as soon as they have your number, they want to FaceTime. And it's like, you're not there yet. You need to chill for a minute.
Yeah.
Or, talking more than one day, it's almost like by the time you meet, you're almost engaged. And it's like, no, no.
Really?
Be
Let me
dating,
try. What did you say it was? Bumble? Give that a try.
it almost seems like, oh, so you invested 4 hours of, 2 days to talk to me, so now you know
A
everything about
virtual
me,
conversation
right?
that equals 2 months of dating.
Mad? Exactly. Now it's like, what? We've been dating for 2 months or 6 months? No, no, no.
Yeah,
Calm down.
that is interesting. I mean, I could see though, how that can build an emotional connection if you're texting. I think a lot of people are more comfortable with, texting that or writing, rather than talking on the phone. So I
Mm-hmm.
could see how that can build up pretty quickly and how it can feel like you've known this person for so long, but you've really only known them for 48 hours.
Right?
I can totally see that. I can see why that's a thing or why that's so intriguing, you know, just getting to know someone just from writing. And especially if you're connecting just in writing, how that emotional connection starts to build. I could see that. But you're right. I don't want to feel like I'm engaged after 2 days of knowing you. I want to know you for at least a couple months.
Or, using that as an excuse to want to have sex right away. No, no, no.
And that may be right. Are we on there to really be in a serious relationship? And that, what does that entail, you know, to that person? Do they feel like a serious relationship requires sex like right away? Are they there just exclusively for sex? What are they on there for? Because I feel like, right, our profile can say a whole lot of things, but once we meet the person, then, we're making decisions as to what it really is that we want. And it may not always be a serious relationship, right? It just may be, oh, I'm just here for fun, just trying to make some friends.
Well, now I think of, okay, would I want to be quarantined with this person? For the most part, it's a no.
Mhm. Right.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question. Do I want to be quarantined with them?
But then, in working with clients, or even with friends that have been in a relationship and being quarantined with their partner, I have yet to hear from anyone that they're ecstatic that they were quarantined with their partner. And so then I'm like, which one's the lesser evil?
Mhm. Right, because maybe in the past there was always something going on and there was lack of maybe just spending time with each other, versus now there's a whole lot of time that we're able to spend with each other. We realize why maybe we have jobs and we don't see each other all the time and why that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Um, but you're right, I haven't heard of anyone who's just beyond themselves that their significant other is home. Thank you. not one person at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, which is interesting, right? Because I feel like a lot of couples may have that issue of we don't spend a lot of time together, we don't go out on dates, we don't do this, we don't do that together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, well, here you are you happy now? Does this work for you?
Right?
And it's like, oh, I need to remember this and why this didn't work in the first place.
Right.
But you're right, I have not heard of not one person that's beyond themselves. If anything, I think that, as therapists, we probably have a whole lot of work with couples because they're probably at each other's throats, just either the stress of everything that's going on in their homes or in their jobs, in their personal lives and whatnot. But yeah, I could see I can see the arguing happening real fast.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I don't know. This pandemic has certainly, I think it has changed the rules of dating for sure.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think it's made it any easier as it was. It was already difficult. I
Right.
don't think it's made it easier at all. I feel that a lot of people are just now dating with fear,
Mhm.
you know, dating because they don't want to die alone or they don't want to be alone or they realize how alone they truly are. And is that the right mindset to be in to have a healthy dating relationship?
Right. And then I think age also plays a role in that. I think that, whereas maybe, I don't know, I go back and forth a little bit. I do think that some older folks are either fully comfortable with the way things are right now, or they're not, but there's not like a happy medium. They either are or they're not. Versus I feel like the younger crowd, it's still very much of, sure, let's date. Let's get on, a dating app and let's figure this out, right? Because I mean, that's what else are you gonna do?
Right.
You're not gonna go to the movies. You know, you can go,
Well, you
you can
can.
try to go shopping and see if that works out, depending on where you go. But
Yeah.
um, there's just different. There's a difference now on how things
Yeah.
work in the dating world, for sure.
And on that note, I'm going to let you go because one of my spawns is home. So, to be continued, for sure. I think that we have identified a lot of really good issues related to dating and a lot of fears that have come up in dating. So I'm definitely excited about continuing the conversation, but I think that this is a great preview. All
Sounds good. And
right.
we'll see what we come up next time with.
It was great to see you. Take care, okay?
All right, you do too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.